Another quick video for you today. It's on the Nitecore 21700 intelligent battery system. Had a few people asking about this, so I asked Nitecore for a review sample and they've sent this through. There's your warranty card and your user guide that's included. They also have this card here for the charging instructions. All the items come packed in this plastic box so you can keep everything together. And they've got a bit of foam padding on the inside there to stop things moving around. This is one of those items that I think is quite useful, certainly as a backup light or power bank source. I'll just take all the items out and show those to you individually. First up we have the 21700 battery. This is their I series battery, and that means to say that we have different power connections from a normal battery. We have the positive in the middle and the negative is on the outside, so you have positive and negative at both ends as well. If I turn the battery over, you will also see that there is the same arrangement. It's a bit recessed, the positive terminal on that, and on the outside that's the negative. Can you use these batteries in normal devices such as torches? The answer is yes. I've tried them in a number of torches that I have around and they work without a problem. This is a protected battery, so nothing bad will happen if you try and short it out. It's pretty much a must-have for a battery like this with the connections that are exposed. These are the two extra items that are included, and that is the magnetic power bank, the smaller one. This has a micro USB charging port. You'll see the certifications on the other side, and on the top that is the Type A port. That's what you'll be using for the power bank function. You'll notice when I attach it to the battery, a blue light will come on, and that just tells you that there's sufficient power for the power bank function to work. That blue LED will start to flash when the voltage gets low, and the cutoff on this is just under 3 volts. Moving on to the magnetic light, which is the ML21. This has a fixed output of 80 lumens. And the colour temperatures around 4 to 4,500 kelvins. We've got the same magnetic design and the contact points. The plastic feels quite good on this. It doesn't feel flimsy or fragile. As soon as you attach this to the battery, it turns on automatically. There's no controls on this unit at all. You can see the tint off of this is a slightly warmer one in comparison to many of the LEDs. If I shake this around, you can see that the magnetic connection is quite strong, but it is possible to knock it off, perhaps if you walk into something, but normal use, I don't really see that as a problem. It's certainly strong enough in terms of the magnetic grip. You can, if you want to, put it on the underside because we have the positive and negative on both sides. There isn't really much point doing that though, because obviously it's not going to be as stable when you're standing it up. Output wise, I'm finding it around about 1.4 to 1.5 amps output. You'll only be able to get a partial charge into low current devices such as smartwatches. That's because the current is so low it will shut off after a while. As far as charging the battery in a charger, if it fits it should charge, although some of these chargers will not be quite long enough for these longer 21700 batteries. It is slightly longer than most of the 21700 batteries out there, the protected ones, so do bear that in mind. Here's the charging, and you can see it's flashing when it is charging, and that goes static when it's finished. I did do a discharge capacity test just to see roughly how much we get out of a full charge, and it came in just over 3200 milliamp hour. I thought that was quite a good result really. Just done a few shots outside with the magnetic light, comparing it to the LA30. The beam output is quite different on these two, though the colour temperature seems to be quite similar. I think the LA30 is discontinued now, but I've still found it to be quite useful as a backup light. Nothing wrong with the output on the magnetic light. It's pretty bright, certainly going to be bright enough to see where you're going at night. Although it is quite a diffused light, you're not going to get a huge amount of range, but you would be able to see where you were walking in complete darkness. I do quite like this device, I do find it quite useful, but I'm a bit puzzled why we still have the micro USB connector. I think that ship sailed a few years ago. We really need to be using the Type-C connector. With the magnetic light, I think it's quite nice, but I would like to have a lower output on that. Perhaps they could have included a switch or something where you could sort of knock it down to a sort of 10 or 15 lumen output, which could be bright enough, and it would also help conserve the battery life. That wraps it up for me on this video. Hopefully that was useful to you, and as usual, thanks for watching.